How you doing, everybody, and welcome back to Ford Field here in Detroit. The crew is getting ready for tomorrow night's game between the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings after the roof collapses at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. The Packers, meanwhile, it only feels like the roof collapsed on them today as they fall 7-3 to the hapless Lions, a team they had beaten 10 times in a row and 18 out of the last 20. But that's not the big story. As big as the loss is, the bigger loss, Aaron Rodgers, who suffers his second concussion of the year with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first half. He comes out after a 18-yard run. They call timeout. He stays in the game for a couple more plays, but the next time the offense is on the field, it's Matt Flynn at quarterback. After a scoreless first half, Flynn leads them to their field goal, which gives them a 3-0 lead, but the Lions, all they need is 7 points as a costly Matt Flynn interception to DeAndre Levy, the former Badger, at the goal line cost them one scoring opportunity, and then a 4th-and-1 pass to Greg Jennings with under a minute left falls incomplete in the end zone as Flynn just barely misses Jennings. So the Packers fall to 8-5, makes things a lot more complicated in the playoff picture, but it's not the end of the world, but it is a big setback because this is the kind of game against an NFC opponent, against a division opponent, against a common opponent to other teams in the division that will come back to bite you in tiebreaker situations, and that's exactly what the Packers are looking at. But they're not concerned about the big picture. They're more concerned about the little picture, and that's the loss that they have today where, to me, the play of the game, the play that really changed the complexion of this entire game came in the first quarter on the Packers' 4th possession. Maybe that wasn't the first quarter anymore. That might have been the second quarter, but at least I got the score right this week. When Greg Jennings gets behind Amari Spivey for what would have been a 73-yard touchdown, and instead the ball goes through Jennings' hands, bounces off of him, and caroms to Spivey for an interception. So instead of what would have been a 73-yard touchdown and a 7-0 Packers lead, the Packers end up coming up empty. That's when Rodgers was still in the game. Perhaps getting that touchdown is the big play they needed, much like Jennings' touchdown a week ago against San Francisco woke them out of their early game doldrums offensively. Instead, they let an inferior team hang around and hang around and hang around, and they end up losing. We didn't get much of an update on Rodgers' concussion after the game. Mike McCarthy said that he was still groggy for the couple of plays that he stayed in for after they'd called timeout. To me, the other troubling thing about Aaron Rodgers, who is a gutsy, tough dude, is that he didn't choose to slide on that play. And it's very easy with the hindsight of 2020 to say what a mistake that was. But I think generally speaking, that's a mistake. I don't know if after sliding on that scramble in Atlanta and being marked short, if he decided that he wasn't going to take any more chances, but he had already gotten the first down on that run and takes a hit and ends up hitting his head and suffering the concussion. And then Matt Flynn, remarkably, on a 3rd down play, while he did get the first down, chose to dive head first to get it rather than him sliding. And we were this close to, I think, having Jordy Nelson as the Packers quarterback, although the assistant coaches and Mike McCarthy will never tell you who their emergency third really is. Next week in New England, it's probably going to be Graham Harrell because I have a feeling they're going to have to call him up from the practice squad. So we will keep you updated on Aaron Rodgers throughout the day and throughout the week as we get prepared for a showdown with the New England Patriots. It was supposed to be a showdown between 2 MVP candidates, but one MVP candidate doesn't finish the game today, ends his streak of 181 consecutive passes without an interception. Now the question is, will it end his streak of consecutive games, having never missed a game since taking over as the starter in 2008 following Brett Favre's departure? Started all 16 games that year, all 17 games last year, and had started all 13 games this year. We'll see if he's ready for number 14 next week. We'll be back during the week with our ever-popular 5 questions with intern Jackie. You can always email your questions or tweet them at me if you'd like a response non-video-wise. You can email them to jwildy@espnwisconsin.com, or you can send them via Twitter at JasonJWildy. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, the Packers fall 7-3 to the lowly Detroit Lions, and the season looking a little bit bleak at the moment, but it's not over. We'll see you next time.